welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Ronke Kolawole. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo says the new official vice president's residence proposed by the immediate past administration was not in the 2016 or 2017 budget, as the president's residence, Abuja House, is befitting and sufficient for his needs. The acting president clarified this in a statement by the Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity to the President, Laolu Akonde. He said the project, which started in 2010, was initiated and funded by the immediate past administration and is now about 85% completed, with 14 buildings already on the project side. The statement further says that any suggestion that the project benefits the present administration or reflects its spending style or preferences is not only misleading but blatantly false, as the federal government will decide at the appropriate time the best use for the buildings. While acting President Yemi Osinbajo says Nigeria this time needs men and women with strong character to move the nation to an enviable height. He was speaking in Abuja at a program marking the 50th anniversary of the death of a former Nigerian diplomat, Issa Wali, father of the Senior Special Advisor to the President on Social Matters. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Those who had made impact, the acting president said, all exhibited virtues that were uncommon.
Nothing typical about those people, but they all shared something. It's a universal set of values. That universal set of values is really what they bring to the world, and it is for that reason that we celebrate them, because they represent an aspiration for us. They represent something that's superior to who we are and to how we reason.
He says such men and women are now needed, that injustice still persists.
We need to be able to have those values and emphasize that these are the values that are important. These are the values that build nations and build communities. Trustworthiness, honesty, integrity, hard work. We must be able to find those, and we must be able to find them across tribes, across faiths. And that, I think, is what our nation needs at this time. We must be able to, we must find as a nation those common features and be able to say that this is what we stand for and this is what we aggregate around.
Late Ambassador Issa Wali was a known advocate for women's rights, and the focus at this program was to enhance their living conditions.
Men lead, women lead, and our youth lead. Our message really is to the young people. If at 39 years old, this much was accomplished by Malam Issa Wali, then what on earth are you waiting for?
It's really penchant for girls' education, or education generally for young Nigerians, but especially for girls.
A subcommittee which I set up of scholars, which has been working for 1 year, is finalizing the final sections of a family law we intend to introduce to Kano, which will address some of the issues that Madam Issa was concerned about.
The Issa Wali Empowerment Initiative is headed by Mariam Uwais in memory of her father, late Ambassador Issa Wali. In Abuja, Jide Onifade, NT News.
In another development, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says programs such as the Teju Babyface Show are potent platforms to showcase government programs and policies to the citizenry in a manner that the people will assimilate. The minister stated this after being hosted on the program, as reported by Anthony Forsin.
Teju Babyface Show is tied around political satire laced with comedy. The anchor, whose real name is Gbadewonuola Olateju Oyelakin, took on the minister in his usual hilarious manner by asking questions on the state of the nation. The minister equally displayed his high sense of humor.
To make it still very good to take over. Are you traveling anytime soon to that? I say I don't like you. If you want to travel to America, you just need to look at your bank balance, look at your visa. You go in and need permission for the president to step outside Abuja.
While in the studio, the minister did not only appreciate music, but made the point that he has dancing as a hobby. In the end, he bared his mind.
It is particularly this segment of society that needs to understand, one, what the government is doing, and two, that they don't have to despair, and there's hope, and that everything we are doing is just for them.
In Lagos, Anthony Fosun, NTA News.
And from Lagos back to Abuja, former Commonwealth Secretary General Emeka Anyaoku has challenged media practitioners in Nigeria to uphold the ideals of the profession in the discharge of their duties. The charge is coming against the backdrop of alleged misinformation and concocting of stories by the media. Emeka Anyaoku was speaking at the 14th edition of Sun Newspapers Award in Lagos. Again, Anthony Fosun reports.
The former Secretary General of the Commonwealth, who went down memory lane, citing his experience with the media, said distortion and misrepresentation of facts is becoming a serious setback for the profession because it is eroding on the credibility of the organization or of the practitioner, especially with the advent of social media.
Whether it's newspaper, radio, television, or social media, your publications reported as facts must be avoided.
On the other hand, he advocated for a true federalism as panacea to Nigeria's current challenges. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed, who spoke to newsmen on the sidelines of the event, lent his voice to the call for the media to eschew bias in their reportage.
You see, the issue of fake news, the issue of fabrication, distortion, I think is assuming such a dimension that is threatening to disfigure the industry. It's an issue that especially the professional media must take up.
The Surveyor General of the Federation, Ebisinte Yawudu, has enjoined the 54 registered countries of the African Students' Union Parliament, especially those studying surveying, to contribute in resolving crises arising from international and local boundary disputes. Ebisinte Yawudu gave the advice while playing host to the African Students' Union Parliament in Abuja. Mie Ogidi reports.
The visit by the African Students' Union Parliament with its headquarters in Ghana to the office of the Surveyor General of the Federation in Nigeria was to acquaint themselves with the workings of the office, especially by students in the surveying industry, and commend the management for the prompt mapping out of international boundaries, maps development for geospatial information, as well as identifying areas that are prone to earth tremor in Nigeria. Riding on this vote of confidence, the Surveyor General of the Federation assured the students of more innovations from his office to address the emerging technological challenges in the surveying industry.
Even the UN passed a resolution that 2.5% of national budget should be earmarked for surveying and mapping activities. What we need to do is to the governments of African continent to spend more on surveying and mapping.
The visit was rounded off with a conferment of Pan-African Leadership Merit Award on the Surveyor General of the Federation, Ebisinte Yawudu, for his various contributions to the surveying industry and youth empowerment. Mie Ogidi, NTA News.
And following the recent fire incident that engulfed property worth millions of naira by the DMB's roundabout in Onitsha, Minister of Labour and Employment Dr. Chris Ngige has visited the scene of the inferno to ascertain the extent of the damage. Maureen Ezeokere reports.
Around the areas affected by the fire incident thanked God that no life was lost, but regretted that the unfortunate incident would have been curbed if the firefighters were properly equipped to stop the fire ignited by the fuel spillage.
I think the state government will try to do an assessment of the losses. These losses will obviously put some people out of job.
Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, who commiserated with the families and business owners affected, promised to inform the federal government to assist the victims.
We have a scheme that assists us to take care of those who, in the course of going to work or returning from work, suffer injuries. Such people, by the Employers' Compensation Act ECA, they get some compensation.
Dr. Ngige, however, called on the Department of Petroleum Resources to look into the issue of siting petrol stations near residential buildings to reduce the incidence of fire outbreak. In Onitsha, Maureen Ezokeke, NTA News.
And now to Port Harcourt, where medical practitioners have stressed the need for residents to avoid food and drinks that are exposed to vagaries of the atmosphere as a result of the black soot to avoid contamination. Chidiebere Onya reports.
Composed of carbon produced by incomplete combustion of coal, oil, wood, and other fuel. It consists of acids and chemical metals that are harmful to the body. A medical expert, Dr. John Danagogo, says these particles, when falling upon food exposed, leads to stooling and vomiting. He said it also causes cancer and other allergies to the body.
And one of the ways the body reacts is by going through a purgative process. Then secondly, these soot are known to cause cancers.
Some Port Harcourt residents who are selling some of their exposed food, like bole, say they take precautionary measures to prevent their food from contamination.
As you roast them down like they're supposed to put them back to fire so that all those things that are purging, it will not put a sickness into the food.
So I'm not aware about the black something. I just hear from you people.
The general public are, however, advised to cultivate the habit of covering their foods and drinks. In Port Harcourt, Vivian Izadifi, NTA News.
Tracing the source and taking immediate action to stop the rain of black soot causing air pollution in the Niger Delta area, guests on Good Morning Nigeria program say should be the immediate priority of governments in addressing the menace. Aisha Ubali reports.
In part of Rivers State has prompted residents and experts in the environmental sector to raise alarm over the threat to health, economy and social life. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria program noted that the development calls for immediate action.
Devices that are not controlled by them, that can be taken up by the government of the states and analyzed to know what they are contributing to this problem.
This one is more pronounced than what we've seen in previous years. So that tends to lend credence to the fact that the illegal refining activity, the destruction of illegal refineries, and also all these activities are now coming to a crescendo.
The Director General, National Environmental Standards and Regulatory Enforcement Agency, Professor Anukam, say the agency is not only aware of the development but has already sanctioned some outfits found culpable in the observation of set standards.
The air pollution regulation also coming up with a program, just as my colleague rightly pointed out. Right now, beyond just what is coming, even our vehicles, we have a lot of these old vehicles. There's a regulation on that. And beyond, there's a program called National Vehicular Emission Control Program. We're looking at towards the end of this quarter. It started a while to make it possible to test the emission level of our vehicles. That's for mobile sources. For stationary sources, right now it's ongoing more for the survey of possible different sizes and types of generator we have.
The guests were unanimous in suggesting immediate action and punishment to companies emitting substances into the atmosphere that can harm the fauna and flora in any community in the country. In Abuja, Aisha Obaali, NTA News.
Court strikes out Economic and Financial Crimes Commission chairmanship petition in Lagos. Abdullahi is standing by with details of this and more from the Lagos Network Center. Hello, Abdullahi.
Good to see you, Ronke, and thanks for joining us in Lagos.
The suit challenging the continued parade of Ibrahim Magu as the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC chairman has been withdrawn at the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos. Justice Mojisola Olatoregun struck out the suit today in Lagos. Vera Chumba has details.
Human rights activist and lawyer Ebun Adegborua had instituted the suit, asking the court to restrain acting EFCC chairman Ibrahim Magu from parading himself as such. He had prayed the court to compel the Senate not to entertain any further request for confirmation of Magu. The Senate, Attorney General of the Federation, EFCC, and Magu were joined as defendants in the suit. At the resumed hearing, counsel to the plaintiff and right activist Ebun Adegborua, Tayo Oyetibo, told the court that he persuaded his client to withdraw the suit to encourage Magu in the anti-corruption war of the present administration, since the case may affect his confirmation. However, the withdrawal of the suit was not opposed by the EFCC counsel Wahab Shitu, who posited that the withdrawal of the suit would surely boost the anti-corruption war. He argued that government needs the input and support of lawyers and activists like Adegborua to bring their wealth of experience to bear on the fight against corruption. Based on the submission of both counsels, Justice Mojisola Olatoregun struck out the case. In Lagos, Vera Chumba, NTA News.
To diplomatic matters now, Nigeria bilateral relations with Ghana on trade and education is to be strengthened to enhance and improve diplomatic tie of both West African countries. Nigeria High Commissioner to Ghana, Adekunbi Ayodeji, stated this at a joint anti-piracy exercise in Western Naval Command, Secondary Ghana. Abolade Salami reports.
Over the years, Nigeria and Ghana have had a mutual bilateral working relationship in diverse sectors of the economy. In view of this, both countries were the largest and second largest economies, as well as the biggest oil producers in West African region, although with a difference in output. To develop other key areas such as cultural heritage, trade and investment, Nigerian ambassador to Ghana, Adekunbi Ayodeji, said a diplomatic agreement through the joint Nigerian-Ghana Commission will be introduced to help create other avenues of improving diplomatic relations.
In any relation, when it comes to people, definitely you will see some areas that needed to be tidied up. Some of these areas is where we, on our own, in terms of diplomacy, take it up. So I can tell you that some of these areas where it might have been observed in terms of people to people, that maybe stating here and there, we resolve it at the Joint Commission.
She stated that Nigeria, since inception of this present administration, has experienced drastic changes.
When you are talking about government to government, the relationship has been very cordial, because in as much as we believe in democracy, Ghana too has already confirmed in terms of succession, they have been in democracy too. So since 1992, so we can say that Nigeria and Ghana have so much in common.
Both countries are being governed by democratically elected presidents who at various times defeated the incumbents. From Ghana, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
And Abolade Salami's reports ends the news from Lagos. Is back to Abuja, where Ronke is standing by to continue the news. Ronke, over to you.
Thank you. The National Population Commission has urged Nigerians to de-emphasize politics and look at the economic benefits of census for the country to get it right next year. Chairman and other officials of the commission who said this while speaking on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria program today say the headcount in 2018 will be of high standard as it deploys technology to conduct the exercise. Aisha Uba Ali has the details.
The last time Nigeria had a census was in 2006. Another was due in 2016 but suffered to postponement, and it is now scheduled for 2018. Chairman of the National Population Commission and two other officials, while speaking on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria program, say already preparations have gone far as they await presidential proclamation to fully proceed.
As of today, we've been able to capture only 37 local governments. In the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll be able to cover about 74 local governments. 74 out of 774 leaves a whopping figure of 700 unattended to. So if funds are not released to us as Ankwendio, we cannot cover these 700 local governments within the available time.
On areas facing insecurity, the Commission says it is working with security agencies to ensure that every inch of the nation is covered.
In the available technology, the latest technology, we are using very high-resolution satellite imagery to make sure that we cover every part of the country and there is no gap.
So at the end of the EAD work, you will now come with a framework to see what are the logistics required. How many field functionaries, how many enumerators, how many supervisors, how many coordinators, what kind of logistics do we need? How do we deploy those logistics? These are some of the things that is gotten from an effective and good EAD work.
The MPC equally wants early release of funds to enable the Commission make procurement to facilitate smooth conduct of the exercise. In Abuja, Aisha Oba Ali, NTA News.
Towards promoting quality tertiary education, heads of institutions in the south zone of the country have attended a needs assessment intervention project at the University of Port Harcourt. Karina Igboniko has that report.
Brought together heads of universities in the South-South zone to strategize on the best ways to effectively utilize funds from the Needs Assessment Intervention Project for the development of their institutions. Pro-Chancellor Ahmadu Bello University, Mohammed Denu, urged university administrators to abide by the guidelines given by the Implementation Monitoring Committee.
There is proper monitoring, the deliverables are delivered. We want to change the environment in our universities.
Other participants stressed the need for the creation of a supplementary fund in order to tackle the procurement of certain items in view of constant change in the prices of building materials.
The purpose of the intervention fund basically is to be able to raise the standard of Nigerian universities in the South-South, collaborative companies. We'll be able to have interaction to discuss some of those issues.
Funds from the Needs Assessment Intervention Project is expected to aid universities in building needed infrastructure to aid teaching and learning, in addition to the TET Fund. From the University of Port Harcourt, Karina Igoniko, NTA News.
Greater synergies is required between the three arms of government towards achieving national growth and development. This was advocated at a reception organized by the FCT administration for the outgoing Grand Cadi of FCT, Sharia Court of Appeal, Ibrahim Abba, in Abuja. Tertiary was there for NTA News.
The retirement dinner was a platform to review the relationship between the three arms of government. The FCT Minister Muhammad Musa Bello and the Chief Judge of the FCT, Justice Ishaq Bello, noted that if the various arms of government work at cross purposes, very little will be achieved in addressing the ills of society.
To administer a mega city like Abuja, there is no way whatsoever any of these institutions can survive and even work without the support of the judiciary.
Rigidity in the implementation of such compartmentalization tends to hinder meaningful progress by joining hands together in nation building.
The retiring Grand Cadi, who was described as a distinguished Islamic jurist, appreciated the honor.
This is the first time an event of this nature is being organized by the FCT administration to honor any outgoing of the FCT judiciary. It is indeed wonderful, and I say thank you.
Ibrahim Abba, who became the Grand Cadi of the FCT Sharia Court of Appeal in 2014, is billed to retire on the 22nd of this month. In Abuja, Tertiary, NTA News.
Imo State government commences modernization of schools in oil-producing communities in the state. Let's join Beauty in our Enugu Network Center for details of this and other stories from that zone. Hello, Beauty.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Enugu.
The All Progressives Congress APC Southeast Zone has passed the vote of confidence on the national, zonal, states and local government leadership of the party as constituted before the 2015 general elections. This was contained in a communique issued at the end of the party's zonal meeting held in Enugu. Chimobi Walter Onaji was there and now reports.
The closed-door meeting of Southeast leaders of the All Progressives Congress, which lasted about 6 hours, saw in attendance Governor Rochas Okorocha, Ministers of Science and Technology Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, Employment, Labor and Productivity Chris Ngige, National Vice Chairman Southeast Ima Enugu, and former Senate President Ken Nnamani, among others. In a communique signed by the National Vice Chairman Southeast Ima Enugu and the Southeast Zonal Publicity Secretary Hyacinth Mbu, the meeting resolved, among other things, to sustain the growth of the party in the zone and to commit the party to the enthronement of APC-led governments during the Anambra State governorship elections in 2017.
We are all brothers and sisters. The party is a clearing ground where we discuss matters of mutual interest. We can agree or disagree. We must be mindful of what we pass on to the public.
For the first time in the history of Anambra State, the galaxy of aspirants are in APC.
Some party stalwarts said the party is committed to strengthening its membership base in the zone and welcomed new members who wish to join the party.
That there's a need for us to review where we are based on the party registration as it's still ongoing. And thereafter, the unity of purpose among us in Southeast.
The meeting also used the opportunity to acknowledge the massive road projects going on in the zone and commended federal government for the gesture. In Enugu, Chimobi Walter Naji, NTA News.
The Imo State government has laid a foundation stone for 6 blocks of classrooms in 2 oil-producing communities in Ohaji Egbema local government area of the state. Tele Osainde has such reports.
University program embarked upon by the Imo State government to ensure the students have access to qualitative education by making sure their learning environment is conducive. Both projects and 6 blocks of classroom for secondary school students in Umapu. The project, when completed, is expected to be furnished and equipped with learning materials. Wife of the State Governor, Unoma Nkechi Okorocha, is the chairperson, Amnesty Committee.
No more will our children go to school and they will be afraid. No more will the children go to school and their parents will be so burdened. Least the building will collapse on them.
Making us to be happy. We are glad. May the Lord give you long life.
We are very, very convinced that the amnesty program is real.
The projects are expected to be completed in 4 weeks. Similar intervention by the state government is expected in the health sector. From Ohaji Egbema, Selo Sinde.
In a related development, the Imo State government has reaffirmed its readiness to partner with the Nigerian Armed Forces in establishing 3 command secondary schools in the state. Deputy Governor Prince Eze Madumere stated this while receiving the team of Army headquarters. In Kiru Onyejesi has such reports.
Prince Eze Madumere, who represented Governor Rochas Okorocha, appreciated the team for believing in Imo and what the state can offer. He commended the Nigerian Army for their efforts in the fight against insurgency in the country. Prince Madumere assured the team of an enabling environment and the support and assistance of the state government.
Today you can see on television, today you can see on newspaper, you can see on social media what services Nigerian Army is providing to rural people.
The visit by the leader of the team, Major General Idris Aikali, is to inspect the proposed secondary school sited in the state.
The school we are going to establish is going to be basic for all the other secondary schools.
The Nigerian Army had earlier announced the establishment of 3 command secondary schools in the 3 zones of the state, which include Owerri, Olu, and Okigwe. In Owerri, Nkiru Onyejesi, NTA News.
Similarly, Anambra State government says it will continue to collaborate with the Nigerian Army to ensure that the state remains the safest in Nigeria. Governor Willie Obiano stated this while inaugurating some completed projects at the 302 Artillery Regiment of the Nigerian Army, Onitsha. John Ugwejofo filed this report.
Including Palm Garden, military police duty room, the armory as well as the mini morgue and the lawn tennis court. Governor Obiano, who maintained that the Nigerian Army need encouragement to put them on a sound frame of mind to tackle security challenges, revealed that his administration has gone beyond collaboration to using the Army engineers to execute road contracts in the state. He thanked them for leading Operation Pochapu Joint Security Task Force, which sanitized Opiweka and other risk areas in the state.
We engage in education recognition, any opportunity that we have.
The General Officer commanding the 82 Division of the Nigerian Army, Adobaba Abubakar, thanked Governor Obiano for what he described as world-class infrastructure in the army barracks. The commander 302 Artillery Regiment, Isa Abdullahi, explained that the project was accomplished through the support of the Anambra State government.
By the grace of God, today we have a governor who has the listening ears, who has the sympathy of the soldiers, who knows what it is to serve and to be served.
Commissioning of the projects and a 10-minute match between Team Obiano and Team GOC formed the high point of the event. From Army Barracks, Onitsha, John Ogwejiofo, NTA News.
That's our BTA in Enugu. It's back to you, Ronke, for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you, Beauty. You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. You're watching Nationwide on NTA Network Service. We now pause for some messages. The news continues shortly.
From what we have seen, we have the capacity which we can rapidly develop or feed ourselves. If we don't import rice, we stop importing corn and other grains, Nigeria will have plenty of money to invest into developing industries, especially manufacturing, textiles and so on, and develop iron and steel, and complement the infrastructure development. So really, the opportunities are virtually limitless, and we are very, very aware of this, and we are prepared to exploit it to the fullest.
The unending need for a roof over the heads of civil servants is the focus of NTA Tuesday Live this week. Talking of staff housing and schemes and other related issues only on Tuesday Live. It will be incisive, informative and engaging. Don't miss it. Join us.
Make it a rewarding relationship with your rib-cracking comedy, Professor John Bull, as we serve you dish upon dish of fun and laughter.
Look at how this dog is mashing the food flash by a bottle with his cash.
And the absolutely unbelievable.
I will take care of everything. Okay, worst come to worst, I will become your girlfriend.
From us to you, the all-new Season 3 of Professor John Bull, a feast of comedy and social satire dished out by Nigeria's biggest entertainers. Every Tuesday and Friday, 8:30 p.m. on NTA Network International and Star Times. Professor John Bull, 3 times more hard-hitting, 3 times more rib-cracking.
Who I help? I don't bap.
Over and out. Brought to you by Glow.
Welcome to the new speed of life. Do you crave class? Do you have taste? And do you care about comfort? If you do, then for your next event, a stay away from home, a business trip, or memorial holiday, visit Jade's Hotel at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja. Check out our world-class services, exquisite suites, restaurant and bar, gymnasium, spa and grills, and our outdoor catering services and cuisines. At Jade's, it can only be better. For bookings and reservations, visit us today at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja, or visit www.jadeshotels.com. Our email address is info@jadeshotels.com. You can also call us on 09291-9321 or 0810-909-7956. Jade's Hotels. Welcome to life.
The federal government's social investment program has begun. The poorest and most vulnerable in the land get 5,000 naira monthly, and phase 1 has started in 9 states of the federation. 200,000 unemployed graduates have been engaged in the N-Power Volunteer Corps, designed to engage 500,000 people. 5.5 million children will be fed regularly in the homegrown school feeding program, which kicked off in 3 states last year, with 9 more to be added this year. And under the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, GEEP, thousands of cooperatives, market women, farmers, and enterprising youth have been receiving between 10,000 and 100,000 naira soft loans since November 2016. The Social Investment Program has begun. It can only get better. We promise change. Change is here.
There are over 250,000 street children in Lagos.
The Street Child Care and Welfare Initiative is a sanctuary for street children and runaways. Rotimi Aziz was one such child. 3 years ago, his life was the streets.
It's hard to sleep on the floor because sometimes rain fall and beat us on the floor while we are sleeping outside. So we experience a whole lot of bad things on the street.
Following the approval of the Whistleblowers policy by the Federal Executive Council and its launch by the Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, patriotic Nigerians have been making inquiries on how and where they could deliver information that could lead to the stopping or uncovering of fraud to the appropriate authority and answers to frequently asked questions. The Federal Minister of Finance has therefore dedicated a telephone line for receiving SMS, a whistleblowers portal, and an email address through which members of the public who volunteer to disclose information about a possible misconduct or violation could deliver such information for the attention of the team dedicated to process such information.
Glad that you're still watching Nationwide on NTA Network Service. The University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital has organized a free medical outreach under the federal government Rapid Resort Initiative for the less privileged in the society. Informal Mesa reports that the program will last till the end of March.
Free medical outreach is an initiative rolled out by the Federal Ministry of Health to facilitate medical care for the indigent persons in the society to be tested for different medical conditions. Chief Medical Director, University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital, Professor Aaron Ojuli, represented by Chairman Medical Advisory Committee, Toby West, noted that the outreach is geared towards making the less privileged persons to know their status and help to achieve the 2030 goal of zero infection, zero discrimination against people living with HIV, as well as other related ailments.
We are doing screening of several health conditions to assist them, the indigent ones in particular.
After this one, I'm going to do hepatitis and probably a few that I will still hear about, and I'll do them.
I think the one I just did now is hepatitis B, then breast screening. Yes, I'm very happy.
Medical experts advise people to take advantage of the free medical exercise. The program is open Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. The exercise will end on the last week of March 2017. From the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital, Ifoma Omesa, NTA News.
Let's now join Naomi in Maiduguri for more on Nationwide. Over to you, Naomi.
Ronke, and welcome to Maiduguri.
Governor Kashim Shettima has presented an uninterrupted power supply equipment to the NTA Maiduguri Zonal Network Center to enhance its operations. The governor also approved 29 million naira for fencing the premises of the center, in addition to donation of a staff bus. The zonal director, Lawan Umar Lalu, accompanied by the management staff, received the equipment for the center on behalf of the Director General, NTA. Full details of the report will be brought to you in our subsequent bulletin. The National Logistic Committee for Distribution of Relief Materials to Internally Displaced Persons has presented food and non-food items to Borno State government for onward delivery to the IDPs. The relief materials were presented to Governor Kashim Shettima by the committee chairman, Assistant Comptroller General of Custom, Abdul Kadir Azarema, at the Government House, Maiduguri. Muhammad Goni completes the report.
The relief materials presented include 36,822 bags of rice, 7,752 jerrycans of vegetable oil, 3,003 cartons of spaghetti, and 52 bags of second-hand shoes, among others. The chairman said the logistic committee, pursuant to presidential directive, had distributed thousands of relief materials to IDPs from Borno, Yobe, Adamawa, and Edo states in the first and second phases of the exercise. While appreciating the Borno State government for the support in transporting the commodities from various custom warehouses across the country to the state, ACG Azarema assured that the logistic committee, under the coordination of the custom boss Hamid Ali, will continue to discharge its assignment with utmost sense of responsibility. Governor Kashim Shettima expressed gratitude to the Nigerian Custom and the National Logistic Committee for the continued support to the people of the state, and assured to put machinery in place to ensure transparency in the distribution of the commodities. He said the Borno State government has released 72 million naira for the transportation of the commodities, which he said runs to 1 billion naira. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
Tragedy befell an internally displaced persons camp in Kurso Bashir area of Jere local government, in which 2 children lost their lives. Lami Ali reports.
The fire, which was said to have started around 3 in the afternoon, spread fast, fueled by the dried stalks used in erecting the tents and the windy condition. Several tents housing 400 families were completely razed. The quick intervention of men of the fire service prevented the inferno from spreading further.
The fire started when one of the IDPs was roasting granuts, and she is said to have problems with her eyes. 2 children died.
As at the time of filing this report, those affected were salvaging what was left of their belongings. Lami Ali, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Maiduguri. Stay tuned for more reports on Nationwide with Ronke. Ronke, it's over to you now.
Thank you, Naomi. The Abuja Archdiocese of the Methodist Church has enthroned Right Reverend Chikwendwoga Igwe as the diocesan bishop of Kubwa Diocese of the Church. Deborah Micah reports.
It was a celebration galore for members of Methodist Church Kubwa Diocese as they witnessed the enthronement service of Right Reverend Chikwedu Igwe as the Kubwa Diocesan Bishop. The Abuja Archbishop of the Methodist Church, Right Reverend Joseph Oche, who graced the occasion, affirmed that Right Reverend Ogan Igwe, since his undergraduate days, has exhibited high sense of credibility in his service to God and humanity.
He now has jurisdiction and supreme pastoral responsibility over you as Bishop of Kubwa. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Right Reverend Igwe, whose ministerial career is not limited to Nigeria, reaffirmed his commitment as a Methodist minister and demonstrated his love for the propagation of the gospel.
If welfare situations are not addressed, it takes God for somebody who is not committed not to be engaged in corruption. So while we do the fighting, we also address issues that will lead to corruption. Non-payment of salaries of workers and pensioners can lead to corruption.
Members of the church celebrate the gospel icon, including NTA family, as the Director General of NTA was represented at the event by the General Manager, NTA Channel 5, Abuja, Mrs. Oganya Deborah Micah, NTA News.
New Commissioner of Police FCT Musa Kumo has assumed office. He warned criminals and lawbreakers to have a rethink and stay off the landscape of the Federal Capital Territory with their nefarious activities. Abdullahi Ajia was there and now reports.
Organized for the two commissioners to finalize the exchange of authority, documents and responsibility of the office, a new chapter for the command was opened. Outgoing CP Muhammad Mustafa, who is proceeding to the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPS, urged men and officers of the command to extend the cooperation given to him to the new CP.
You should be open. Do not relax in your own areas of responsibilities.
The new FCT Commissioner of Police, Musa Kimo, reassured all that professionalism, justice and fairness, rule of law and people-police partnership will be the direction of his leadership.
My mission simply is to sustain and obey on the gains of my predecessor. Certainly will be done through massive deployment, through aggressive intelligence gathering, constant raids on black spots and criminal hideouts.
CP Musa Kimo holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Political Science and joined the Nigerian Police Force in 1986. Before his recent posting as the CP FCT Police Command, he was the immediate past CP of Adamawa State. He was also two-time Commissioner of Police, Department of Logistics and Supplies, Force Headquarters, and has also served as Commissioner of Police, Federal Special Anti-Robbery Squad, and CP River State. In Abuja, Abdullahi Hajia, NTA News.
Nasarawa State Police Command has confirmed the release of former Chief Security Advisor to former Benue State Governor Gabriel Suswan at Garaku in Kokona local government area of Nasarawa State on Saturday, 18th February 2017. The Command Police Public Relations Officer, Kennedy Idrisu, said he was released this morning. We now take on some commercial messages. There'll be more reports when we come back.
Dished out by Nigeria's biggest entertainers every Tuesday and Friday, 8:30 p.m. on NTA Network International and Star Times. Professor John Bull, 3 times more hard-hitting, 3 times more reed-cracking.
Who I help? I don't bab.
Over and out. Brought to you by Glow.
Welcome to the new speed of life. Do you crave class? Do you have taste? And do you care about comforts? If you do, then for your next event, a stay away from home, a business trip, or a holiday, visit Jade's Hotel at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja. Check out our world-class services, exquisite suites, restaurant and bar, gymnasium, spa and grills, and our outdoor catering services and cuisines. At Jade's, it can only be better. For bookings and reservations, visit us today at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja, or visit www.jadeshotels.com. Our email address is info@jadeshotels.com. You can also call us on 09291-9321 or 0810-909-7956. Jade's Hotels. Welcome to life.
The federal government's social investment program has begun. The poorest and most vulnerable in the land get 5,000 naira monthly, and phase 1 has started in 9 states of the federation. 200,000 unemployed graduates have been engaged in the N-Power Volunteer Corps, designed to engage 500,000 people. 5.5 million children will be fed regularly in the homegrown school feeding program, which kicked off in 3 states last year, with 9 more to be added this year. And under the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, GEEP, thousands of cooperatives, market women, farmers, and enterprising youth have been receiving between 10,000 and 100,000 naira soft loans since November 2016. The Social Investment Program has begun. It can only get better. We promise change. Change is here.
There are over 250,000 street children in Lagos.
The Street Childcare and Welfare Initiative is a sanctuary for street children and runaways. Rotimi Aziz was one such child. 3 years ago, his life was the streets.
It's hard to sleep on the floor because sometimes rain fall and beat us on the floor while we are sleeping outside. So we experience a whole lot of bad things on the street.
And now to a report from the foreign scene. South Sudan declares famine, first to be announced in any part of the world in 6 years. And Malaysia recalls envoy from North Korea. Let's join Gabriel Odu on Global Tidbits.
The United Nations Food Programme and UNICEF, as well as South Sudan's government, say about 4.9 million people, more than 40% of South Sudan's population, are in dire need of food. The famine is currently affecting parts of the Unity State and may spread further if urgent steps are not taken. And in Somalia, President Mohamed Abdullahi has announced a cash reward of $100,000 for information on anyone planning attacks on civilians. Militant group Al-Shabaab has waged war on Somalia for over a decade and has promised to target President Mohamed's supporters. Away from Africa now, the Malaysian government has recalled its ambassador from North Korea following the killing of President's half-brother Kim Jong-nam in Kuala Lumpur's airport. Malaysian police believed he was poisoned by spies. That's Global Tidbit. Gabriel Udu, NTA News.
And now to sports. Rangers International of Enugu and Rivers United of Port Harcourt are confident ahead of next knockout stage of CAF Champions League as Wiki tourists promise to bounce back after CAF Confederation Cup exit. Kene Hemabudike has details on Sports Update.